Joining me now is House Foreign Affairs Committee member Congressman Darrell Issa. Congressman, should Ukraine be allowed to use U.S. missiles to strike inside Russia? It was President Biden who allowed that. Should he have done it?
You know, Ukraine should have been allowed to bring this war to a peaceful end, one that was negotiated from a position of U.S.-backed strength, and they weren't. So now in the last minutes of this administration, this is a very questionable tact and one that President Trump's going to have to straighten out in just a matter of days.
It puts President-elect Trump in a bind, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It creates a situation in which clearly he's going to inherit a much more volatile situation. And quite frankly, I suspect the outgoing administration is going to say, oh, we already tried that. We did that, trying to take any credit from some initiative President Trump undoubtedly will author.
What do you make of Putin's nuclear saber rattling? Is that all it is? It's just a symbolic?
You know, the most important thing to Putin is to cling to power. If he uses nuclear weapons, he will lose his hold on power. So I don't suspect that it's real, but we have to take it seriously, just as 10,000 North Korean troops being added as cannon fodder have to be taken very seriously.
Congressman, Israel's military says it seized a stockpile of Russian weapons in Lebanon. They say many of these weapons are modern and they came from stockpiles in Syria. This is not a good development, is it?
No, not at all. And as much as 40% of what we find in Hezbollah caches came in through as processed weapons through Syria. Others came in as components, some of them from Iran. The reality is that we have to deal with more than just Hezbollah or Hamas. We have to deal with those who supply them, which includes Syria, which is backed by Russia, and then, of course, Iran, that is backed by Russia and China right now.
You may be the next chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House. If you were that chair, what's your priority number one?
One of the number one priorities is to engage all the members of the committee in being educated and prepared to help the Congress make good decisions. One of the others that's critical is Foreign Affairs has to team up with armed services so that we can lead the effort on military aid to other countries and our diplomatic mission. It's something that's been sorely missed during the last 4 years. Clearly, I have a long-standing friendship with incoming Secretary Rubio, and I know he appreciates the role of Congress, so I hope that we're working very closely together.
Congressman Darrell Issa, thanks for joining us this morning. Always good stuff.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, sir.